Marcus, good? Playing?
Go ahead.
Red?
Yeah, you can edit.
All right, guys. So we're gonna look at the worm guard. So basically, everything's off this lapel. I'll just have you come down, Tony. Here. So something I picked up from Pato is I call this the joystick grip. So basically a lapel lasso. So you can either just stuff it in there and wrap. That's usually what Pato does. He just will get that gi and start wrapping it and pass it to the inside hand. And sometimes he'll even just stay here too, all right? And when he's doing this, he's really trying to turn on that shoulder, that side. And that just opens up a lot of opportunities. I think when Keenan was kind of working on this, he did a lot of this movement, which does work. But I think, everyone's gonna start blocking that nowadays, yeah. So instead, I can just come in here, control the lapel, and I can just one-hand it and then pass it off, okay? So again, I call this the joystick grip. Technically, it would be me coming back over. And then once I hold this, it's kind of hard to deal with, and then you see it's like a joystick. All right, from here, a lot of different options. And sometimes guys will just kind of start to sit back, like they just don't want to address the guard. So Pato will just use that, like an easy sweep. Turn this way, doesn't do it. Yeah, easy sweep here, and then, this kind of connects me to him and kind of makes it a little messy. But then if you're really good at passing like X guard, guys like Lucas Lepre, single leg X, man, they're gonna teleport through this pretty fast, okay? So once I had this grip, or even Pato, once he gets this grip, that's basically how he uses all of his worm guard stuff. So again, lapel lasso, coming here. And it's kind of hard to break too, like, even if he tries to pull it. Once I get this joystick grip, pretty much not much they can do, okay? From here, basic stuff. If he's staying on both knees, it can be hard to get like the other stuff on this side. But just realize that opens up like the squid guard over here, okay? So keep your knee down like you had. Yeah, I can just kind of pass that lapel back over and get right into this series. If you like the Matrix and stuff, I can use that lapel, the squid guard, to get me into that. I can also play more old school, just like lapel omoplata. So just like you use your omoplata, I can use it either going forward, sweeping that way, or if Tony comes back, I can use it like that. So that's more so how Keenan would use it. Pato, most of the guys, rewind a little bit, Tony. Yeah. So he'll play a little bit of squid guard here. Usually he'll use that to sweep back. So especially if Tony tries to come back up. And usually they're going to do that if they want to start passing the lapel, because if he's on his knees, you're not really going to pass this. But if he starts coming up, he might try to stuff something. I can use that to get inside his legs and look off balance, okay? I have to come back down. But what usually happens, they'll bring this other knee up, okay? And then, man, just so many great options. One thing I was trying in my tournament, the line open a few weeks, was the Polish worm rider. And before I couldn't really figure out how to do it, but really from that joystick grip, I'm gonna switch back over and free this arm. So you know how I pummeled for the squid guard? I can use this to pummel, like almost like underhook style for the Polish worm rider. So notice my arm's too short, right? It's not gonna reach. So I really got to start to invert and hand that over, okay? From here, I can't go out the back door, but just realize my leg's in a funky position. Come on this side, Marcus. Yeah, over here. It's in a funky position, and maybe he might jump for knee bar or something. So I usually don't try to do that style of move. So have you come back, Tony. So more so, my goal, yeah, if he has that knee up, I'm trying to get my hip over his leg. Okay, and it feels kind of weird, right? Yeah, a little bit. Okay. Okay. And from here, I can try to sweep back. During my match, I was looking for that pant, but instead I should have probably been looking for the belt or the hip. Oh, sorry, Tony, we both popping.
Yeah.
And I try to look for his back, trying to pull him into me. Okay. Wasn't that easy in real life though. The guy had a good base. Do it one more time. So I'm here. Usually he's trying to knee cut or put that knee pressure. Or, you know, just he'll put that pressure there so he can free that arm to maybe start pushing down. Yeah, you know. And that's my cue to start, switch the lapel back over. And I'm looking for that underhook. And I really use that lapel grip to help pull myself into position. You know, hopefully he keeps his knee up, because if your knee down, yeah. And pass it there, okay? If I have trouble with that, sometimes like before that, and he has his knee up, I'll kind of start pulling this like over his thigh, okay? And that kind of helps me get a better grip. But usually you gotta invert. Get over. I'm gonna pull his knee down. Hopefully I can get my arm over his leg. Look for that back control. Sweep him, okay? That works really well. And then we got the old school reverse tail of worm. Basically all this stuff's all the same grip. So if you watch my Keenan video, we did all this stuff, but it's always good to go over it again. Here, if I feel like I can't get that, like maybe the lapel's too shallow, instead I'm gonna go under the leg, reverse de la Hiva style, okay, and grab the lapel for reverse de la worm, okay. It can seem kind of confusing because Polish worm rider is in the crook of the knee, reverse de la worm is on the other side, okay. But my leg positioning is the same, and this one's a little bit easier because I have more space to work with, and I can almost get to like a crab ride position from here. Typically I'm looking for a sweep over my head. Now I can get to crab ride, kind of bolo sequence, or, you know, whenever you have this stuff, usually it's just better to come on top, you know, because you're in a dominant position, especially if I get over his thigh. Usually they start framing armbar, okay. Reverse de la worm, and then you got more of the traditional stuff. Okay, so this is ringworm. Basically, I just have a single leg grip on his leg and grab that lapel, all right? This one's pretty useful just for holding. Sometimes the guy will sweep himself, and you can go from there, or often we'll make that hand exchange for the squid guard, okay? And then, you know, sometimes it can be tough because I know I try this a lot in Tony, but usually I'm looking to sweep back, almost like 50-50, trying to push this leg back and move him. Not always the easiest move, but you know, even if he's fighting me here, I really start to get that forearm on his knee and just trying to wear him down. I can look to attack this arm, control it. I can look to place my crab ride hook in the back there. And you know, even with all this stuff, the guy's gonna have, if they have a good base, they're gonna fight you. That's what happened to me in the tournament. Like I was throwing everything at the guy, but he had a really good base, okay? So Pato does a really good job. He just knows, he just studied the squid guard. So if, I think so you guys know Leandro Lowe and Keenan used to fight a lot. So I think that's when the Unity guys picked up on how to play the worm guard. And then Pato kind of made it his own. So just this control, I think that's, if you can get here, that opens up everything. You have your ringworm, squid guard, reverse de la worm, Polish worm rider, and then squid guard here, okay? And if you learn how to use all that stuff, it just opens up so many attacks and sweeps, okay? And say all else fails, you know, say like none of that's working, Pato has a really good de la Hiva or lasso sweep. So just lassoing on the left side, and then, you know, either leg on the side or over here, and he'll dump. One thing I did forget, like when he's playing in this guard, this lapel lasso or joystick grip. Come over here, Marcus. Sorry. Yeah, whenever he's playing this kind of stuff, he doesn't just leave this leg out for, you know, Tony to control. Usually he's going to play it with like a spider hook. And that just makes it even harder to deal with, because this is hard to deal with, and then this is hard to deal with even if he's standing. Because it kind of, if you look at my foot, you see how it's like an anchor? It's really hard to clear, and even if he starts pushing it down, that kind of frees my hands because he's fighting with that foot, right? So I can look for this, look from here. A lot of different options. And remember, I'm trying to invert too. And you see how that frees this arm up? Okay. If I play square, everything's far away. When I invert, everything's closer, okay? And then we'll look at it later, but say you can't get that stuff working, he's always got his matrix attacks, right? All right, so, yeah, Pato's good. He's got so many attacks. And the thing that makes him really tough is that he's always attacking. So there's usually never, you know, in tennis where you hit the ball, they hit the ball.
Back and forth, yeah.
He just hits the ball to himself. Yeah. All right, so hopefully that helps. Thank you, Marcus. Let me see how you did, bro. Remember that time we filmed and I didn't hit record?
Oh, geez. Yeah. That was like a long one, too.